It has started over time and it has accumulated, which is why I said the reflections into this economy is the consequence of the actions or inactions of past administration. But we cannot complain. We must confront the issues. We must resolve it because we have inherited both the assets and liabilities in this administration. Today, we are owing a total of 1.3 trillion naira to the power generating companies, out of which 60% of it is being owed to gas suppliers. I have the MD of NDPHC here. Am I right?
Correct.
1.3 trillion naira. Today, we have a legacy debt prior to 2014 to the gas supply companies of $1.3 billion. Today, at today's rate, that is close to 2 billion naira, 2 trillion naira. If you have 2 trillion naira of legacy debt to gas companies, to 1.3 trillion naira to the Gencos, we have an inherited debt of over 3 trillion naira in this sector. How will the sector move forward? Nigerians deserve the right to know, to give information. I'm not a conveyor of bad news, which is why some of these things we are not proud to say it on a daily basis. But we are working underground to ensure that we resolve these issues, that we pay down on these loans, on these debts, either through cash injections or some guaranteed debt instruments, to ensure that we ensure continuity of production, of generation of power. So what has happened in January is that the gas companies that have been managing to supply gas to generating companies, they decided to ask for their money. I say, we are not supplying gas until you pay down on the outstanding debt. If I were in their shoes, will I not do the same thing? They are profiteering agents. They have even tried. That debt has accumulated up to 3 trillion before we start seeing this. So I believe we must find a way to resolve these issues. I hardly spend 2 hours in my office. I've been going around visiting power installations, power generating companies, visiting our distribution infrastructures. Just last week, I was at 2 major power generating companies under Niger Delta Power Holding Company. The MD is here. I was at Olon-Shogo Power Plants in Papalanto in Ogun State. I was at Omotosho Power Plants in Ore. It was 8 hours on the road. From 8 a.m., I did not get back until almost 12 midnight. If I tell you what I saw there, I was closed to tears. I was moved to tears to see what is happening. And I keep telling us that even without adding any new power generating plant in this country today, using what we have on ground, the installed capacity, the operational capacity, the available capacity, we can double electricity supply to Nigerians. These plants are operating below 20% capacity for lack of raw materials, which is gas. Okay, if you confirm that you had stable electricity in December, and you praised us, I received texts, I received calls. Improvement in the sector, we were happy. How did it happen? And situation today, how is it happening? If we could make it possible in December, that means we can make even a better situation possible going forward. So Nigerians must understand that the issues are simple, they are in multiples, but they are also complicated in a way. In Olon-Shogo Power Plants, it was a closed circuit model with 4 gas turbines and 2 steam turbines of 115 megawatt capacity each, making 690 megawatts. You'll be surprised that it was only 1 gas turbine that was working and was operating at 87 to 90 megawatts. because of shortage in gas supply. That's about 10-12% capacity. How Nigeria has invested in these plants. The turbines are idle for want of gas supply. Same thing I got from Motosho. On the contrary, it's an open circuit model with just 4 turbines, gas turbines of 125 megawatts each, making 500 megawatts. When I got there, it was only operating on a single turbine, operating at 110 megawatts when you have 500 megawatts. And we are saying there's short supply of power. Why won't there be? We have assets that we are not optimizing in this country. So those are the issues that is confronting us as a government. But we are not scared. We are not scared. We must resolve it. But knowing the source of the problem alone is 50% solution. We know the source of problems, and we are going to attack the problems. As I left these plants, not quite 30 minutes, I've not even gotten to Ijebu-Ode from Ore. I was called. And I was told that even the only one working has been shut down. Yes. So it was operating at 0 megawatts out of 500 because the gas supply got stopped because of pipe vandalization. Yeah. I still remember. And my plan is to go around all these power plants and see what we can do to support it. So we can see that it's a bit complicated, but they are not insurmountable. So the simple technical operational issues, like I mentioned, inadequate supply, shortage of gas supplies, and aging or dilapidated generation machineries, causing below optimal capacity utilization, leading to short supply by the GENCOs. Inadequate power evacuation capacity at GENCO locations, especially where we have multiple generating companies. Even when they produce, we don't have the capacity to evacuate. It's coupled with unstable and fragile transmission lines, devoid of automated frequency controls, which is called SCADA, and lacking in failover or backup capacity, with frequent human disturbances through vandalization and theft. That's another thing. The transmission lines that we have been there since 1968. They are single lines. It's like you are bringing goods from Kano, food items, and you only have one highway. If the highway is bad, there will be gridlocks, there will be potholes, you will lose part of the food. And there's a gridlock that will even supply food to the demand center in Lagos. And there is no failover or backup, which is more like the alternative road in transportation. If this place is blocked, let's go and take the other place. What we used to have just is single bad road, Lagos to Ibadan. People spent 12 hours on that road. They spent 14 hours on that road because it was bad, there will be gridlock. But the moment there is a train station, which is more like a failover, an alternative road, and they are fixing, have you ever heard of any gridlock on that road? No. It's the same thing with transmission lines. We must continuously maintain the line. We must also invest in putting up what is called a super grid, which is a backup or a failover alternative route to transport power over a long distance. It is the same transmission that we've been using, and it's weak. So we keep having grid collapse. Before September 2023, the last time we had a grid collapse was about 420 days before that time. But it started again in September. And between September and now, we've had nothing less than 5-6 grid collapse. I will distinguish between a grid collapse and a grid disturbance. Grid disturbance is normal in a power generation value chain. There'll be a lot of reasons for that. It could be technical reasons, tripping off some of your substations. It could be operational when the production and the consumption are not balanced. It could be because of frequency controls. We have grid disturbance, and it happens all over the world. Go to China, it happens. In the US, it happens. But the only reason why it is not escalated is because it does not affect the end consumers of electricity. It will never lead to shut down. It will never lead to collapse because they have a way of promptly responding to a grid disturbance.